What's up, guys? This is Limbo from deltiasgaming.com. There is a new RPG, action-adventure, Souls-like, MMO-Lite, all those catchy words, and more. There's a new game coming out. It's called Soulframe. This is an upcoming fantasy game from the creators of Warframe. Today, I'm going to break down what Soulframe is, who's building it, how it's been going so far, and what is available in the game right now. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done it, because we've got more videos coming each week. But for now, let's dive into Soulframe. Soulframe is a free-to-play online fantasy action RPG with MMO elements. This game is made by Digital Extremes. It's the same studio behind Warframe, the very popular kind of futuristic shooter, fast-moving, frenetic game that you guys have probably seen on Twitch and YouTube, and it's making a comeback in the past few months as well. It plays very similar to Warframe, kind of its fantasy sister, if you will. You're still tearing through all these enemies, but you're using swords and magic and bows and stuff like that instead of the sci-fi guns that you see in Warframe. You play as an envoy. That's the playable character's kind of title, and you're thrust into Alka. This is a beautiful, lush, very nature-driven world. It seems to have an almost Gaelic, kind of like Irish, Scottish, I don't really know one way or the other theme to it. The way that the people are talking, the way that the area looks, it's gorgeous. It's one of the most pretty games I've ever seen, even being so early as it is. And the overarching theme for this game is this kind of story of restoration, putting nature back the way it was, fighting back against these evil people called the Ode that are spilling this poison into the land called Ichor. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Like we said, this game is published by Digital Extremes, the same people that make Warframe, and it's using the same engine as Warframe, the Evolution engine. This company is really known for its strong community engagement. Warframe came out, had some issues, and they've been focused on fixing it and making it better than ever for the past several years, and they've been doing seemingly a great job of that. Soulframe was first teased at TennoCon 2022, where it was officially revealed as this kind of fantasy spin-off of the Warframe series with this kind of Souls-like combat. That'll make more sense once you actually play the game, but it is kind of slower action-based, whereas Warframe is very fast. You're spinning around, you're shooting, you're flying through the air. This one is much slower. You're still facing several enemies at a time, but you really need to take your time defending, doing the parry system that they have inside the game, and figuring out how to best take down multiple enemies at once. Since it was announced back in 2022, they've had these long-running preludes, they're calling them. This is basically the pre-alpha version of the game that lets players test these early versions and give some feedback. They started putting this out in late 2023, and the preludes have gone all the way up to prelude number 10, the one that they're on right now. And TennoCon 2025 actually just wrapped up. They had a stream that they call their dev stream, where they basically show off the new versions of the game, give updates, give some feedback that they've received from the community and what they're working on next, as well as releasing prelude number 10 plus gameplay demos and open access during this event. They actually made it to where if you've logged onto the website anytime prior to that or before TennoCon ended, you would get access to the most recent prelude, which will let you continue to play the game as much as you want until it releases later this year, most likely early 2026. By that, I mean Digital Extremes said that they'd hope for a full release of this game in 2025, but they've recently called that a very aspirational goal, so there's a good chance that the full release will probably slip into 2026. I wish I could have got this video out earlier to you guys so you had time to sign up, but if you had signed up on the website, you would now have access to prelude number 10. You can still go sign up. They still drop codes every few weeks, apparently, by sending them out via email. I do want to let you know that I signed up several months ago and never got a code. I had to wait until this weekend to actually receive mine, so it might take you some time, but if you're interested in giving this game a shot, you're going to want to get signed up on their website. As of Prelude 10, that's the one that's out right now. Players are exploring the large area. The world is called Midrath. This is the region of the world that we're playing in right now. There's an underground kind of dungeon city called Durmak as well, which kind of serves as your underground dungeon diving repeatable content that you can do basically anytime by getting into one of the many entrances scattered around the map. There's also another dungeon-y section that is above ground, I believe, that are called the Glades, and this is another kind of open-ended dungeon area. You can run through it several times to be picking up materials, start fighting people so you can level up your weapons and your character's powers. So far in the game, they have several fables available. Fables are what they call basically their story quests that actually have like a function to them. You'll have maybe a cutscene at the beginning, middle, and end. It will tell you a story as you play through it, and it will unlock something for your character at the end. Currently, there are 6 of these fables available in the game, with the recent ones being the She-Wolf Snared, where you save one of the Omen Beasts. These are the very large kind of spiritual animals of the region, and this wolf sends you on a quest to save 3 of her pups, ultimately getting to keep one of them for yourself. It's awesome. They also added the Brewer of Hues quest. This quest sees you following a little rat until you run into another one of your ancestors. We'll talk about them in a second. Verminia, the Rat Witch. She's pretty awesome. Her voice is incredible. The voice actress did such good work, and she's really, really cool looking in this game. And at the end of this quest, Verminia is added to your Nightfold. Again, we'll talk about that in just a second. They've been massively improving the game, even on a daily basis now, with updates coming inside of these preludes. They've seen combat reworks that has much smoother animation, better hit detection. Your dodging and your blocking and parrying seems to work a lot more. They have some sort of kind of passive lock-on targeting that makes it to where your attacks are landing quite a bit more than they used to. Your character slides around less. It all makes a bit more sense, and the game just looks more and more beautiful every update. They've also been working on massive updates to the weapons. As it stands right now, I think there's 7 types of weapons. You can have a short blade that moves a little quicker. You can have a shield and sword combo. You can get these pole arms, kind of long spears that are really cool to throw. There is throwing in the game, so you can throw your weapon from farther away. If you have a pole arm, it does even more damage. There's staves for magic casters. There's a long blade sword that one of the characters actually starts out with. I found that this one to be the weakest weapon so far, but I'm still enjoying playing with it. But once I unlock the other weapons, I actually haven't gone back to the long blade at all. There's also a bow available for starting characters if you choose to be kind of a ranger style. And then they added a weapon called a fly blade that works as a sidearm. So this is like a secondary weapon apparently. I'm still working on getting this one unlocked, so I don't have any gameplay footage of it right now, but it seems like a secondary option when you're attacking. And although it's just in pre-alpha, the game is packed. There's tons of stuff to do. I spent my first couple hours actually running all over the map. There's no fast travel or mounts right now, so you do have to run everywhere, and it can take you a few minutes to get from one side to the other. So I spent the first few hours unlocking all of the world trees, which basically kind of unlock the map for you. They let you show all the areas, and running to locations trying to find their names. A major aspect of the game is exploration. So when you run into what looks to be like a hub area or a place where people might be, most of the time you aren't going to know what that place is called until you've returned to it several times and found these moats that are floating around in the area just randomly. It doesn't seem like they all pop up at once, so you do have to return to these areas several times to actually fully unlock them. As you unlock this, it fills out your codex, which is ran by another one of your ancestors, Orlick. He serves as kind of your knowledge ancestor, and he helps keep track of everything that you learn in the game in this really cool kind of journal in your pause screen. And while the whole thing isn't filled out yet, as you learn more about the world, it starts to populate more of your codex or your journal. There's a lot of aspects to the game that are really confusing. There's not a great tutorial in the game or even system that tells you what things are, so you kind of have to figure it out for yourself, or there is world chat available and lots of people are talking in there often. There's also a very active Discord that seems to answer any question that I have anytime I ask it. So while some of these words are pretty weird, most of them relate to pretty normal video game things. You are an envoy. That's the title of your hero, the character that you play as. At the beginning of the game, you will select a pact. This kind of works as your class or your skill tree that you work your way up. Each pact lets you unlock abilities that get put in the bottom right of your screen that you can activate at any time. Some abilities are better than others, very much so. Again, I still don't have all of these, as it will take quite a bit of time to actually unlock them all, but I'm working through them right now. You can find more information on the website about what each of these skills and classes do, but you are able to change and upgrade your pact along the way as well once you unlock them, so you're not locked down to one kind of character. I started with the Pact of Courage, which they call Tethrin. This one was focused more on a melee build, and I'm slowly kind of regretting it, as I don't think the skills in this one, having recently been nerfed, are really that worth it anymore. It seems to be that there are 6 or 7 packs available. Again, I'm still working through unlocking them all right now, so I'll give more information in future videos if you guys want to see that, but you do have options when you start out to kind of choose between a melee character, a range character, or a magic wielding character. There's also modifiers in the game. They call them moats. These are also what you find as you're running from location to location. It seems that the moats pop up in these areas, and as you unlock them, you'll be also unlocking upgrades for your weapon, your character, to actually change what some of those things do. These aren't available just yet, even though some of them appear in your inventory at times. The enemy faction are called the Ode. They're all these creepy looking helmeted people that have ships. It seems to be kind of this combination of futuristic sci-fi with this fantasy style, but these bad guys are really cool looking. Some of them swing really hard, and they're spending their time kind of poisoning the area and trying to destroy the nature that you see across Alka. A major portion of the game right now is spent looking for these omen beasts. There are a few of these in the game that are basically being captured by the Ode, and you want to break them out, help them, save them, and ultimately they'll be kind of added to your team, whether that's through the pact that they give you. Some of them might become bonds, which is basically like a little special companion that you have. You can actually have access to a pup right now. I believe with the most recent prelude, the pup was removed and just sent to your Nightfold, which again, we'll talk about in 1 second, but the pup doesn't actually run around with you anymore, if I'm correct. And speaking of Nightfold, that's a word you've heard a couple times. This is basically your hub area where you can return to at any time. It's really cool. You just drop into the ground and quickly you're in your hub area. There's like no loading screen or anything. It's really awesome. It's a good pause area as well when you want to get out of combat. You can't do it while you're in combat, but if you need a break and you don't want people walking up on you, you can drop into the Nightfold. Several of the quests that you complete, those fables that you finish, will add an ancestor to your Nightfold. So a little area will actually pop up inside of your Nightfold, and a ghost will hang out there that usually has some sort of features. There used to be 4 of these ancestors available. available. Now only 3 of them will stick around in your Nightfold. You have Orlick, which we mentioned earlier, who kind of just keeps track of your knowledge in the game. You get this guy from finishing the last Pensive quest, which is probably the first one that you'll run into. Next up, you'll probably find Tuvolcane. You recruit her through the Steel Singer quest, which has you retrieving this awesome helmet and carrying it back to a different well. This girl seems very depressed and very disappointed in herself, but she serves as your forge in your Nightfold. She can make and repair equipment for you, and this is actually a major feature in the game that a lot of people are working towards, is unlocking all of these things, building up your relationship with her to craft even higher grade weapons and equipment. As you play the game, you'll get fragments and joineries that drop, and you'll need a certain number of these things to be able to make them with Tuvolcane in your Nightfold. So as you play, you want to be on the lookout for picking up materials. They're kind of hard to see. You're looking for things like weapons on a weapon rack to get certain things. You're looking for plants just out through nature, and also drops from enemies as you kill them will all kind of get added to your inventory and use these items to craft. They're not very well set up right now as they all have the same icon, and it's unclear kind of what you're collecting, but hopefully that gets better, and it's not too hard to tell right now if you just check your inventory out. And lastly, we already talked about her, but Verminia the Rat Witch is the 3rd and final ancestor that you can unlock in your Nightfold, and she has a really cool quest. Her voice actress is awesome, and she serves as kind of your cosmetic ancestor, so she'll help you dye your gear. It seems to just be random right now, but eventually they're going to add in focused manual dye selection, but you can also just randomize it a bunch until you get some really cool looking gear. There was a 4th ancestor called Finn Jotar. This is actually one of the factions that you can serve towards the beginning. He used to serve as your moat management, kind of helping move some of the mods into your weapons and equipment, but he's since been removed, and those will be added into your inventory screen eventually. Again, I don't have access to some of this right now as I'm still playing through it, so I'm not 100% sure if some of these things are active in the game or not. So far, the gameplay loop is very satisfying. You'll pick a starting weapon at the beginning, whether a staff, bow, or a sword. You can also change it as you'll figure out throughout the game by picking up other options and crafting them with Tuvolcane. And then you'll run around and engage enemies in either melee, ranged, or magic combat. You'll be dodging, blocking, parrying, using your powers, and maybe having companions to fight for you as well. The open world is huge, with underground dungeons and these glades that open up eventually that you can kind of do repeatedly to get through some more content in the game. There's 6 of those fables. A few of them are repeatable if you want to try them again. There's puzzles in the game. There are secrets to find that if you do certain things in certain areas might unlock some more gear for you. But the main focus right now is just progression. Once you've completed all the storylines and gotten all the ancestors in your Nightfold, really you're just working on leveling up your Pact skill lines, any weapons that you get, and using those upgrades as skill points inside of the weapons to make each Pact and weapon better. You're also collecting loot throughout the game. There does seem to be kind of this common to rare versions of loot. Again, it's all a little unclear because there's not a great tutorial guide system in the game right now, but if you look online, you'll find tons of information about it. There are MMO elements in the game right now. You can add friends and play with them. Eventually, you'll be able to join clans and start guilds and things like that. There are world events already that can happen randomly. They're also working on more dungeons and raids and regular in-game events. The guys at Digital Extremes are taking their feedback very seriously and seem to continue to rebalance the game based on the feedback they're receiving from players during these preludes. Like we mentioned, they're up to Prelude 10 now, which has a few new features, and you can also choose a faction when you start out and start working on building up your relationship with those factions. They have procedurally generated mini quests that kind of happen and pop up all over the map. These are ranked 1 to 3 stars, just depending on how long they might take. A 1-star only has 1 requirement, a 2-star has 2, and a 3-star has 3 things that you need to do to accomplish the mini quest. They've also added new weapons and better loot systems in the game, and I can definitely tell from having played recently that things are dropping a little bit more often. So to recap, Soulframe is this fantasy-style spiritual sibling to Warframe built by Digital Extremes. It is an early pre-alpha right now called Preludes, which you can sign up for right now on their website and hopefully get a key to the game sent to you in the near future. As of right now, you can explore, fight, find some bonds with animals, and hopefully shape the future of this game alongside the developers. Make sure to sign up on their website to have future access to the game, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more coverage on this game and more as we keep it going here at deltiasgaming.com. See you guys next time.